Just as well, because that was a terrible game. But the Jaws mini game in it was still relatively okay. And the Woody Woodpecker questions, at least there was a lot of them and I never got any duplicates. So there was the odd good bit in it, but for the most part you're just picking up rubbish, throwing them in bins, and that's really dull. Don't know why the developers thought that was picking up rubbish would be a good idea in that game. It works in games like Chibi Robo, but not in Universal Studios. Obvious reasons. I'm sure I've done other bad games. Someone's going to have to tell me what, I'm afraid, so I can't remember. I have got a lot of bad games now, and I will at some point be doing a video where I put together all my bad games and basically decide what's the worst, which we all know the answer for that. But also answer, you know, what's the top 3 worst? What games are okay? What games are relatively playable and whatever. But before I do that, I want to at least get E.T. from the Atari into my bad game collection. I just think that'd be quite worth it. This clown is actually pretty easy. Gotta be honest, I'm finding this rabbit easier to use than the bad Mr. Frosty. Oh goody. Good luck. Fun fact about Clayfighter. When I first got my N64, first time we were going to the shops, this is many years ago, I was just a wee kid. Well, teenager, early teenager, about 13. What the hell am I fighting? I was actually in the shop and I was looking at N64 games to get, because at the time actually I only had Super Mario 64 and Mario Kart 64, which I got for the Christmas with it, because I never got it on launch day. I waited till Christmas because I was happy with my Mega Drive. So yeah, but then we got to shop and I was looking for more games to get for my birthday, which was 4 months later, in April. And I came across 3 games I decided to point out to my parents to get. Look them up here now. One of them was Clayfighter 63 and a third. Mainly because at that point in time well, there was no internet at that point. Internet was just a mere dream of a madman for the most part. It was around, but we couldn't use the phone, so we didn't get to use it most often. And when I did, I just used it to go on the Cartoon Network website, because I used to get the comic books of Cartoon Network. So I was playing the cow and chicken game for the most part. Initial, is there fatalities in this? I doubt it. But the other 2 games, well, I mainly asked for this game because they had bad Mr. Frosty in the front cover. He looked like a badass snowman and from Jim was in it, so I thought, yay! I was so glad my parents didn't get me this game. I also pointed out Chameleon Twist and Diddy Kong Racing. In fairness though, Chameleon Twist, although it got 50%, if I remember rightly, people actually liked Chameleon Twist and the sequel. It wasn't apparently the best 3D platformers in the world, but they had a good following of fans who liked them. So I may actually look out for Chameleon Twist one day. I've been thinking about it for a while, so I still might get Chameleon Twist at some point or another. But I didn't get that either for my birthday, and I didn't get Diddy Kong Racing. Though at one point I was going to get Diddy Kong Racing still. It was coming up to my birthday, about a week or so before my birthday. And then I get called down to the TV because there's something on TV I should see. A new Nintendo 64 game that had just come out. And did I want this instead? What N64 game was that? GoldenEye. So naturally, I changed my mind from Diddy Kong Racing to GoldenEye, and I never looked back on that. I think we can all agree that I made a good decision there, because freaking GoldenEye. Oh, I don't like this attack, and I don't know how to use it. Do it. So yeah, I got GoldenEye instead as my third N64 game. Hooray! Can't remember what I got as my fourth one now. I just remember what I got as my first three. But I did get Diddy Kong Racing about another 2 years later. Well, a year later. Year or two. I don't know how long later. May have been just over a year later, I suppose. So I did get it eventually. Not good memories in N64. No real bad games, despite the fact I didn't have any reviews to look at. I was just pretty much asking for games and buying them. At first, buying them on principle and the box art. Then I started to get the Nintendo magazines because, well, the first one I got was one doing Castlevania 64, which looked cool. And I did get that. I'll go into that, my feelings on that in a minute. And then I didn't get another of issues until about 5 months later, when it had WWF Attitude on the front cover. Oh, I'm tired. But yeah, I was going to get to Castlevania 64. Yeah, I got Castlevania 64, and honestly, these days I may actually include that in the bad game list. Now, it did get very good reviews. Don't get me wrong, it was a good game. No, honestly it was. But the problem was, I started doing it in easy mode. I played the game in easy mode at the time. I should have learned, I should have known. In the old Nintendo magazines, there was a Castlevania competition thing. They got 4 people who wanted to go to the Nintendo place of business and play Castlevania 64 before anyone, and one of the guys started it on easy and he said the game stops halfway through. And wouldn't you know it, I didn't pay attention. I should have paid attention. I didn't. And so I played it on easy mode. I got halfway through after blood, sweat and tears, especially on that freaking cog level, well, part of the level, where you have to... I'm gonna get beaten in this one, because look at this. Look at this, what kind of crap is this? But, you know, when you have to mix those volatile chemical things to get the explosive... Did I win? What the hell? I did! That's awesome! Oh, you didn't body bag. Good lord. And then you have to go through the cogs and you can't jump. And I just got a little fierce because... Well, hold on. I'm reading this. You still filled with emptiness and confusion over what's happened to him, and else he can find happiness but in great Hollywood. Okay. It is there that he has discovered he landed a free picture deal portraying the role as the great Rabinator who will be loved by all. What the hell are you doing?